Hey guys, it's Mako here. Sorry, I just
tried to
touched
grab
your
my
hand.
Take it.
Oh my. Sorry. Anyways,
you all with me by now.
Get over yourself.
You're right.
I am Mako, King Arthur, Waddy McFly, and today in our big talk we're going to be talking about musicals as movies. So, just to start off, what are your guys' favorite musical movies?
I know, if you don't mind me starting. I personally enjoy The Producers. That is my all-time favorite musical. Mel Brooks is a genius, and I loved Mel Brooks ever since I was a kid. And The Producers was kind of the first time where I was like, I love musicals. And if this, because in my mind I always thought musicals are just, no, we're happy, blah, blah, blah. And then it just sounded like, I'm happy, feeling glad I got sunshine. That's what it sounded like, sorry. But yeah, that was the first time I was like, wow, like a really good story can be in musicals. And then I eventually found all these other movie musicals, so it was awesome.
I'm going to have to, he stole mine, Producers. That is a fantastic movie. I'm also going to go Little Shop of Horrors and The Music Man. Little Shop of Horrors is the weirdest, quirkiest thing ever.
Yeah.
But it is just so funny. And oh, the music is brilliant. Such a good movie. You got to have good music, right?
Definitely.
Definitely. You might hear kids coming up, they're just excited of what we're talking about.
They're
Super
just the
excited.
children.
And the fact that there's birthday cake hidden somewhere in this building.
Not here. Get out. Okay.
Catch you later. Yeah, so my personal favorites, I really have always loved Sweeney Todd, and once the Johnny Depp version came out, as opposed to the Angela Lansbury one, I really liked that one. The Johnny Depp one was just that much cooler for me because I really like Sacha Baron Cohen. But I don't necessarily like Borat.
I love Borat, but that's a whole other story.
No.
But I also really, really, really love Les Mis, and the new one that came out last year was absolutely incredible. And I may or may not have shed a tear or 500.
It might have been because I saw it on Christmas Day, but I bawled my eyes out. I'll admit that. And usually, I tear up during movies.
It's always pulled on like all of my heartstrings.
Yeah.
I've never had a movie that's like made me cry like before even the middle started. Like when Anne Hathaway was singing her song.
I Dreamed a Dream gets me like, every single time.
Have you seen it? You have.
It's a very touching,
it's
the entire movie.
For sure.
I made it cry.
Right. So what makes a good movie musical?
This is what I think, because I thought about it a little. The difference between a movie is most movies nowadays are very realistic. A musical stage production is like completely surreal. It's like they fall in love in 5 minutes, and like, it just stuff happens and you accept that it happens. And the weird thing about musicals that turn into movies is suddenly you're like, oh, it's supposed to be realistic, but then it's this weird surreal story that like happens super quickly and unrealistically. Yeah. So you kind of have to suspend your disbelief a lot.
Especially with High School Musical.
I've seen it.
I was in that.
Which one were you in?
I was in the first one.
I was in the third one.
Really? I was filler space at the New Year's Eve.
Do you have
party.
a frame that we can insert later and show where you are, like circle you?
It's very hard to tell.
But can we circle
many
you?
People.
We just want to circle. We'll find.
I don't want to toot my own horn. You can see me. So I'm at the very end of the third one. So.
Wait,
you can see me a little bit, but I mean I still.
Am I the only one who was not in High School Musical?
Probably.
Tim wasn't.
Oh, sorry.
But that's interesting that you mentioned that because High School Musical is like that, but yet it's so popular. Like to me that's crazy. I've never seen any of them, and even when I was in the third one, I've never saw any of them.
I only saw the first one because I was in it and I wanted to see what it was about because there was a huge commotion surrounding it and I wasn't sure why. But
I mean, I laughed like crazy because it just seemed like that was on purpose. But that's a whole other story, I guess.
Like it's like a joke in and of itself. Like
at least that's what I.
Not even the filmmakers take it seriously.
Well, see, when I was there, Kenny Ortega, the director, he was very friendly with all
he's
all
very
the extras.
nice.
Yeah.
Like in an uncomfortable way.
No, in a very comfortable way. No, but I talked to him and
he's
he was
a very dedicated director.
He was laughing and like he's like, oh, this is gonna be so funny, and I was like, that's interesting that he would think that was funny. There's certain parts he took very like serious, but there's parts he's like, this is supposed to be funny.
Yeah, we
So-
were all dancing to the Black Eyed Peas at the New Year's Eve party.
There
In
you
case
go.
any of you were wondering, and Kenny Ortega was trying to teach the people on stage the dance moves, and he started fist pumping, and we were just like, that works?
Right. And sorry, one last thing about Kenny Ortega. I think he's amazing. I don't think we should put him, the My School Musical, on there, although it's very successful. But he also did Hocus Pocus. Newsies.
I love Hocus Pocus.
So
He did Newsies.
He did Newsies as well. So,
Right on.
totally. Sorry. Is that all you had to say about that?
I don't even know what we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, like, as far
Movies,
as...
video games,
I-
video games.
I definitely agree with the whole musicals. Like, on stage, they're a lot bigger, everything moves a little bit more quickly, and it's really hard to make something like that into a film because, you know, stage acting and then film acting are completely different. And so it's hard to take something so big and then put it so small but still have the same kind of effect.
Yeah, I think another thing that makes it easier for you to do is to not actually see the musical on stage first.
Yes.
Definitely helps.
Because I'm very fortunate in the fact that I guess most of Utahns are where we don't live down the street from Broadway. You know, we don't get exposed to those kind of things because some musicals are more amazing on Broadway than they are on film. I know it's hard for some of you to believe, but I went to New York and spent a week and a half of straight musicals, some twice a day, and it compares nothing to film. There's a certain magic that comes to that, but with something like Across the Universe, which is another one of my favorite musicals, you don't like it?
They ruined the Beatles music.
They did not ruin it at all.
I disagree.
No way.
I disagree.
No way. They tipped the hat and everything. It was beautiful. Oh man. If the old Beatles loved it, then I think it's fine.
Wait. The living Beatles?
Paul McCartney loved it. That's all we need, okay?
All right. As long as you're not talking to the dead ones. If you are, could you get my
Yes, I had a
their
Ouija board,
autograph?
and I was
For
just
me?
like,
John Lennon signed
do you
this
love
picture.
this, please? Yes, please sign
What
it.
was your favorite scene?
But see, here's an interesting thing. Julie Taymor directed that, and she's a huge, actually, Broadway director. So I think that's why it made it really good. She did The Lion King, and she also helped with Spider-Man, but then kind of got thrown out. But I think, and Lion King's still running.
I really
believe,
wanna
this
see
day.
that.
It's awesome. So I think that's another factor. And the one who did producers, she did a more stage directing than movies, but I think that's another key factor in that. I think you have to do something different, and yeah, like you said, maybe a little more realism.
What kind of musical movies do you think were total failures? Or maybe ones that you just don't think were executed well?
Most of the ones that I can think of, I really loved. So I don't know if this is
Mine, the new Music Man. Have you seen that one?
I haven't. I love the old one. I haven't
Is
seen
that
it.
Yeah.
you mean the one with Matthew Broderick?
Yes, which I love Matthew Broderick, and I never want to speak ill of him. But compared to the old one, and that's, I guess, another factor.
I really liked the old one.
Well, I mean, maybe you just saw the old one first, and sometimes it's hard to do that with any remake.
But I heard that
That is
actually with Les
very true.
Mis too. Is a lot of people liked the older one before. It wasn't a musical, but people, which I think is a whole different genre. So you can't
Sure,
compare
yeah.
it. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, off my top of my head, that would be the only one that comes to mind.
I didn't like Hairspray, but I've never really been a fan of that show, so I'm kind of biased in that opinion.
It's very like up over the top for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's probably why I didn't like watching it like as a movie, because I'm just like, it's like so dramatic and so whoa, like everywhere, and it's like so colorful that I just couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
See, on stage, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. I loved it on stage.
I've seen it both. I like it.
What
both
about
movie and stage.
Chicago?
Oh,
I love Chicago.
that is a fantastic movie.
Like, put any women in the prison and just skate.
Just dress them up in
Sneaky,
skimpy clothes
right.
and put them in front of a camera.
And
You'll
dance
watch it.
around.
Right. Catherine Zeta-Jones. Thank you. That's all. Thank you, Catherine Zeta-Jones. Mark Hamill, Catherine Zeta-Jones,
Wait.
your only viewers. Thank you very much for watching the show. There was another one too, but I forgot who it was.
I don't know.
We'll remember someday.
Maybe one of the Sandlot cast.
And as for upcoming plays, Into the Woods is going to come out in movie form, starring Anna Kendrick. I believe she's Cinderella.
That'd be cool. Anna Kendrick is also one of
I
those
thought
foxes.
I thought that she would be Riding Hood, but I think they're gonna go with somebody younger for that. I'm not quite sure.
Okay,
But she is in it, so and I really like that play.
Yeah, it's got
So
some good.
I'm really hoping that turns out well.
Yeah, I don't know of much of any more coming out. They were gonna make a movie of Spring Awakening. Not a lot of people know much
Yikes.
about Spring Awakening. I
That'll
love
be
that.
really interesting, actually.
I love that musical. That was one of my favorite musicals that I saw over there, which actually starred what's his name from
Skylar Astin
I don't know his name. So if
from
you told
Pitch
me,
Perfect.
yes,
Yeah.
and that was
Good old
awesome.
Skylar.
So and I saw him.
He's
so,
adorable.
Yeah, he's a good guy. So I think there's a lot more that they could make. Here's an interesting thing. They take a lot of movies and make them into musicals nowadays.
I don't like that.
Like
Well,
Legally Blonde.
Like Legally Blonde, Sister Act. They do a lot of that kind of stuff. And you really
Spider-Man.
distract me. Oh, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But
Tim's back here
Spider-Man,
doing this. and I'm like,
Spider-Man
I
was
know
its
that.
own story. They didn't take a movie and put it into something.
Which I think I can appreciate that more so. I just feel like most movies in general are made to be movies. And musicals are just kind of a different pacing,
Yeah.
a different structure.
They're very good.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, so producers, and I love it so much, he actually intended that to be a musical in the first place, like way back in the day.
That I didn't know.
Yeah. So that's why I think it worked really well. And obviously it's about musicals, so I think it translated well. Then he tried again with Young Frankenstein. I don't know if you know that.
Wait,
they
is
tried
that a
to make-
stage?
Yeah, that
production
is a
now?
musical.
Since when?
So it was a long time ago, like 4 or 5 years ago.
I don't
But see,
follow
the thing why you don't know about it is because it didn't do very well. And so, although that's one of my favorite Mel Brooks movies, just sometimes it doesn't. But there's a lot of factors that go into that. So, yeah.
So if there was a movie that you would like to see as a musical, what would that movie be?
Wait, turn any movie into a musical?
Yes.
Like a stage production.
No, as like take a movie and then
Yeah.
make that a musical movie.
Oh, a musical movie. We'll just do. dang it.
Or take a.
The Matrix.
Matrix.
That would be very
Oh my
crazy.
gosh. That'd be hilarious.
Or a
Yo.
musical and turn it into a movie. Like either way.
Or Suzuka. That's one of my favorites.
Oh my gosh, I don't
I
like
I
that
was the
play at
cat
all.
in the hat. Yeah, I was.
He was in
I
that.
was the Who in the Susical and
You were?
I did not like it.
That's
Poor
funny.
girl.
Yeah. It was alright.
I personally think that my favorite movie that would, and this is gonna sound crazy that they would make a musical, but I think it'd only work if it was a movie to a stage, would be Back to the Future.
Of course. You
Wait,
know,
about it.
you
It
want to
would
see
work.
Back to the Future as a musical?
Anything to get more Back to the Future.
No, I'm just not surprised at
No,
all.
I know. But I think it, and actually though, I think it would work if like it was a lot more like, I don't know, Johnny Be Good, or what's his name? Chuck Berry wrote it, he's dead. But if Chuck Berry was alive, they made
Use
it
your
like
Ouija
that.
board. We
They
can
made it
work
like
something out.
80s, like be super cool 80s, because they tried that with Wedding Singer. They made Wedding Singer
I
into,
love that movie so
music.
much.
Well, they made it into a musical, and it didn't do very well. But the music's really cool. But I think if they made it into an 80s cool,
Like Footloose, but
yeah, and then they
think
could
so.
use some of the, because some of the songs that are in that were written for the song, for the movie, so it could work. Going back in time. No,
No, I
on
was
to you.
go for it.
No, we're done.
Alright guys, like, comment, subscribe to our channel, share it with your friends, let us know what you think, answer all of the same questions that I just asked these guys, and everybody look at the camera and smile and beg them to comment because we love talking to you guys, truly and honestly. So talk to us and maybe suggest a new big topic for next week.
And eventually we want you on one. See ya.